Alright, time for another draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com also, but no one. Not even a sentence to debate. A sentence in defense of the great physics of the last 100 years. Um, not really. Yeah, not really great. Anyway, this is just a rag on Veritasium. Another stupid video, frankly, big waste of money. Obviously has way too much money. 2.4 million views in one day for a real piece of crap physics video. I mean, all the physics is crap. He didn't go into any of the interesting physics. What's the difference between dropping something on sand and dropping something on steel or concrete? All the really interesting things you could figure out about dropping stuff. And you could do the simple experiment, instead of the theater of building sand cities and then trying to smash them from a helicopter, you know, buy a helicopter, buy a rent, a helicopter, bulldozer, all the other crap, all the video equipment, all this shit for, a show, to do a show physics. That's just absolute crap, garbage physics, nonsense, useless, idiotic, blah, 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 blah. Over some stupid idea somebody came up in whatever 1950 that obviously was a stupid idea because we didn't do it because it's a stupid idea. It's not gonna work. Yeah, this, you're just like what? So he could have done really important physics here, which is he could have done the experiment demonstrating how kinetic energy formula actually is real. That he could have showed us how, as you drop things from higher and higher, and they go faster and faster, that somehow their energy multiplies by this squared function. And they don't, they weigh many, many millions of tons, instead of gaining what you would think is momentum, which ends up being just weight, frankly, right? You take something that weighs 50 pounds, you make it go a certain speed, it weighs 100 pounds when it lands on the scale. They could have done the scale here, and they could have told us what different things weigh from going different velocities. The Mythbusters Savage guy is in on this too, so that's all part of the expense, right? They flew him out here to do this stupid little cameo. It's just pathetic. So, and the good news is at least he's getting ragged on in his comment section to some extent, where people are pointing out how, boy, this is really stupid. Impressive how little research went into this. Yeah. Obviously people are recognizing that, please, I'm not 5 years old. I don't really want to watch you just blow shit up. There's channels that do that. They just blow shit up. If I want to see stuff blown up, then I can go watch one of those channels. But the fact is, he is getting rewarded 2.4 million views. So he's going to make more money to squander. Okay, you're going to make him richer, and now he can piss away more money on nonsense instead of doing an actual physics experiment. So just keep rewarding people for telling the lies. Okay, so we'll play some of the lie. So this is the part, right, cha. All right, that, where he shows the kinetic energy formula. So this is really just about some idea. You take these big telephone poles made out of tungsten, you drop them from space, and somehow you can blow up some nuclear silo somewhere. So obviously somebody with with a little time, even just a little bit of brains, would say, "Gee, isn't it going to be hard to navigate 10 tons of tungsten through the atmosphere and get it to land on a target?" I mean, that's going to require all kinds of mechanisms to steer the thing, because wind and all kinds of things are going to decide where it goes. So what the hell? What are you talking about? That ain't going to work. You might not, you might hit something within a mile of something. You're not going to end up hitting your target. So anyway, too stupid, too silly, blah 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 blah. So silly for so many reasons. The whole thing was stupid. Dropping stuff from a helicopter that's got to constantly adjust its position, and then you have the weight dangling on it and swinging all over the place. I mean, no chance. I mean, the whole thing was just stupid.
The weapon.
And again, it could have been good physics in the sense he could have really showed us, okay, how, he could have maybe had something that was 50 feet high or 100 feet high, and he could have actually started dropping real objects and just see what their impact is on the ground, how many joules of energy they actually produce on impact. He could have attempted to prove the kinetic energy formula, but no. He didn't even try because it's that much of a piece of crap. No one will even try to prove it because, yeah, they're already doubtful it's going to work out, probably. That just makes it all the more the sham.
Is known as rods from God. The kinetic energy...
So he had to pay for animations also, let's understand. So he had to pay somebody to make that animation. Because you need to have things animated or you can't understand.
Of an object is directly proportional to its mass and its velocity.
So there's just no point, right? It's proportional to, well, let's not forget about the half, okay, because that fixes a lot of the brokenness. So this word proportional, when you're using the word equals, I mean, it's directly equal to 1/2 mv squared. That's the assertion, not that it's proportional to, no, that it's equal to. All right, and let's understand that there's no evidence that the squared function works. There's no evidence that the bullet has 2,000 joules and the gun recoil has 2 joules. There's no evidence any of this crap is true. Levers become free energy devices. Clearly, levers aren't free energy devices because obviously we're not capitalizing it. Everybody would be using their lever instead of paying fuel bills. It's so bad. The physics is so bad, and here it is in big letters right on the screen. This is the truth. It's the truth. Trust me, it's the truth. No, it's not the truth. Oh, I should have this in theater mode. My mistake. So this is the assertion, okay? Never proven. Completely irrational in the sense that all I do is put lighter things further and further out on a lever and I can create more and more free energy because I can give it more and more velocity, and because the velocity is squared I can just keep making free energy. I mean, the physics is so bad, it's so easy, it's so simple, it's so easy to understand why this can't work. Pressurized vessels prove it, levers prove it, can't be the truth, can't be right, can't have anything to do with reality. And in 2 years of me saying that, not a single sentence of rational response indicating that, yes, you have some real evidence indicating this is how it comes out. I showed the Mythbuster, the Adam Savage video that actually shows that the car only crushes twice as much, not 4 times as much. The clay only crushes twice as much, not 4 times as much. I mean, and yet there it is. There it is. It's sitting there right there. They say that's real physics, and it's founded on an insane, well, not insane, he wasn't literally insane, but frankly, Leibniz, the guy who invented this, believed in things called solitons and monads. And these were, I mean, soliton really meant soul. I mean, like, ghosts. You thought the universe was run by a bunch of spirits, that everything had a soul and a little homunculus inside of it, a little piece of God's sparkle. That's your physics.
Squared. So increasing the object's mass 10 times increases its kinetic...
Yes, it will do the same thing. Increasing its velocity 10 times will do exactly the same as increasing its mass 10 times. It'll make the same dent bigger, okay? It'll be 10 times more impact. And yes, depending on the structure, it can be either... Obviously, if you hit a brick wall, right, there's a point where the thing just bounces off, and then the thing bounces off, and the thing bounces off. And there's a point you get to where you apply enough weight to the wall, and that's all you're doing is changing the weight. So if I make the mass bigger, I change the weight. I make the velocity higher, I change the weight on the wall. And all you're saying is at a certain point where the wall will crumble, and then I'll get a lot of action because there's a lot of stored energy in this that now will be released because I've broken the structure, and so now I'm going to release energy. And the same is true for the rod idea, right? The rod comes down, it compresses the atmosphere, it creates a very high pressure, a lot of weight. The weight hits the ground, and in an instant, okay, it's creating a bunch of heat, it melts everything, it creates a bunch of crystals, and then it explodes the crystals, okay? So it basically turns the ground into a stick of dynamite, and now it can release more energy. But that's the explosive part. But before you get to the explosive velocity, you don't have an explosive velocity. You just have a denting velocity. So until you start breaking the chemical bonds, you're not going to be releasing extra energy. It's really the difference between mud and dynamite. Okay, you turn like concrete can turn into something like dynamite when you hit it with a lot of pressure, because now you're going to take all the energy that's stored in it All right, but if you hit sand, sand doesn't have any energy stored in it. Okay, so the sand will just fly away. It'll move in directions and it'll dissipate the energy. And he didn't even have a conversation about what the difference is between hitting different substances. Huge difference between, dropping your kinetic rod on a dynamite factory than dropping it on a marshmallow factory. Well, marshmallows probably aren't a good example because they have a lot of stored energy in them. A sand factory. So instead of doing anything called real physics or anything close to rational physics or good physics or smart physics, he does this, whatever this is, this 10-year-old believe in bullshit physics.
Energy 10 times. But if you increase the velocity by a factor of 10, the kinetic energy grows by a factor of 100.
Right, by complete fantasy. So you didn't do that experiment. So you could have done the brick wall experiment and showed us this 100 times more energy. So you make it 10 times heavier, you only get 10 times the energy out. Okay, but you make it go 10 times faster, somehow you get 100 times the energy out. No proof, no evidence, no anything. Complete nonsense. A lever proves it can't be true. Pressurized vessels prove it can't be true. They'd all be free energy devices. We'd all have free energy if this idiotic KE equals 1/2 mv squared were true. We'd all have free fucking energy. Because it automatically turns any device that converts one momentum into another momentum into a free energy device. And that's what levers do. They convert one momentum, one weight and velocity into a different ratio of weight and velocity. Okay, but the same amount of total weight and velocity, mass and velocity. Too stupid.
This is why even very light objects can carry lots of kinetic energy.
Says you. Not a shred of evidence, just silly drawings. Okay, that's all they have. They don't have any real evidence. They're never going to show you this kinetic energy at work. They're not going to show you this 100 times more car crashing. They're not going to show it with clay crushing. They're not going to show it anywhere that it actually fucking happens. Alright, yeah, they might go back to the 1700s and drop round objects into clay. Okay, and because they don't understand the difference between arrows and blunt objects. But yeah, there is a difference in how they'll penetrate objects. The arrow with a point on it will go further through an object. It's another friction argument. More contact versus less contact. Again, more contact, more distribution of your capacity to give away something. If it was electricity, you'd understand. The better the contact, the more watts that can go through the wires. The weaker the contact, the less watts that can go through the wires per second. I mean, it's all quite understandable. So this is all like from space. So he's talking about debris moving fast in space. Yes, it has energy, but it doesn't have the energy you're giving it. Okay, these preposterous, idiotic, exaggerated joules of energy that don't have anything to do with reality. So we wasted all this money. Helicopters, bulldozer. I mean, just for nonsense.
Sandcastle builders to construct a city.
So you can just imagine this is what he spent time on, right? They spent a month probably doing this video. Research this, that, all this other crap. This made sense to them as an idea. Let's waste a bunch of money for theater, okay, to put on a play about physics. A show, okay? It won't be physics. It won't have anything to do with being scientific. It'll just have to do with feeding people the morons of the world. Just to feed the idiocracy, okay? And this is sponsored by a company called Brilliant, when it really should be called Idiot, okay? It's not brilliant. This is what idiots do. Idiots feed morons, all right? That's what an idiot does, okay? Somebody smart says, well, eat your vegetables. Let's have the real physics. Not this candy. Fuck.
Onto which we'll drop the rods.
All right. So, after all this bullshit, he clearly, he couldn't do it from the heights because the helicopter's moving all over the place, can't hit the targets, blah blah blah. But it was quite dramatically seen that, yes, dropping these things in sand isn't create much of an impact. So they actually did hit it from, 100 feet or something, with a few 100 pounds. and it did almost nothing. You know, damage was almost, you know, you'd have to look for it to find it, kind of thing. Indicating that, oh yeah, maybe this dropping on sand thing isn't too brilliant if you want some sort of dramatic effect. If you want to see something shatter, it's probably not a good idea to drop it on a shattered plate. And that's basically what sand is. It's an already pre-shattered plate. It's already in pieces. Why the fuck would I break something that's already in little pieces? That's kind of stupid. Alright, and then on top of that, even if it was a solid structure, he could see kind of obviously that, oh, whatever you calculated as the joules of the impact, the pressure, the pounds, the weight, yeah, guess what? It's nowhere even close, okay? Momentum rules the universe, and all that happens is, yes, you increased the impact, but you didn't do it by these exponentially growing numbers. Too silly. And again, like I said, the end result showed it. This was totally unimpressive. Is that the Savage douchebag? No, that's the Veritasium douchebag. We had to pay for his stupid hat. Well, they paid for it. People just waste this piss away money on this millionaire so he can do garbage physics. Yuck. I hate
220-pound mass. Probably go up about 500 meters. Try to drop a weight.
So they never got close to 500 meters. They got like 50 meters or something. So yeah, the whole thing was just a big fat waste of energy. Helicopters, just stupid. Look, they have a picture of the helicopter. Look, they have a picture from the helicopter.
500 meters.
But 1,500 feet? That seems higher than 1,500 feet. That is freaking crazy. Okay.
Here we go. This is the one. This is the one.
So it did just about nothing. Okay?
It's swinging around like crazy up there.
Yeah, does it have fins on it?
Jesus, no fins. Why didn't we have this conversation a week ago?
So this all just showed up, cameo, right? They didn't have the conversation. They didn't really talk about it. Just said, hey, come on, buddy, show up. I'll put you in the video. We'll do the video. We'll do our little networking thing. Blah, 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 blah. And we'll do our fake fucking physics. We'll pretend we know what the fuck we're talking about when you obviously don't know shit. You haven't really thought about any of this stuff mechanically. You haven't engineered a good experiment. The stupid Mythbusters guys couldn't even film their fucking experiment decently, so you could actually tell that they didn't fuck it up because they had the wrong numbers written down. I mean, it's just so fucking irritating. So anyway, fuck this. I'll let you see.
You good? We're good, left to right, that's good.
I don't know where that camera was. So they had a camera on a stick. So there must be a stick at the bottom of the, holding a camera, so they can see the guy inside the helicopter. Oh, God, the world is just, Yeah.
We just need to go forward.
Is this a Budweiser can?
Oh, jeez. That does not look like they're in position, right? Are you kidding me?
Never will.
So where the hell is what the hell is taking the picture, right? This is it's probably a drone. So they have like a $500, $5,000 drone. I mean, what kind of drone could sit there in the the draft of a helicopter and take a picture? It had to be one hell of a drone. I mean, it's it's obviously a pretty warped image, So you got to say it's not another helicopter because they would be able to get a better image than that. So yeah, so they got a drone up there.
Destruct.
Oh my! What is that gonna hit? Oh, it is going sideways. What did it hit?
Alright, so just very interesting, but let's go find what it hit just because you'll see it didn't do shit. It didn't blow up anything. Sorry, this is one of the ones you can't get rid of. Fuck you, 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 fuck you. A bank commercial with a bunch of crappy art in it. Fuck.
In the right spot.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Look at that.
I'll keep saying wow, wow, wow. Look at the giant crater. It's 2 feet across.
Oh wow.
Totally buried.
Yeah, totally not much of a thing happening, considering. Yeah. All right. Anyway, just too stupid. Yeah. Obviously, it's really easy to penetrate sand. So yeah, it went into the sand and moved a little bit of sand, and that's all the show there was. Ugh, fuck. That's 1 trillion joules of energy. No, I don't think it was. Alright, so anyway, enough. Fuck this. God, I hate this planet. I just hate it. I hate this fucking shithole. Fucking morons. 250 million views. 2.5 million views. For just crap. Fucking, fairy tale physics. Yuck. Shit. Just fuck you. You're the audience. You're the one who supports all this crap. You're the internet. It's on you, viewers. You make really bad choices. Anyway, this has been at draftphysics.com, debatephysics.com also, but no one will show up for that debate. I have offered Veritasium $3,000, okay, to actually deal with a real subject instead of this bullshit, but nothing. Frickin' cowards. And such. So till the next time, and such, and so forth, and whatnot. I point out, I hate this planet. I hate it here. It sucks. Just sucks. Humans suck.